What's up? It's Tommy Green. You're listening to the Rev Talks podcast, brought to you by the Rev Gatherings, digital tribe of up-and-comers, emerging leaders, doing our best to keep in step as the face of the church changes in our generation. If this is your first time checking out the podcast, welcome home. If you are a returning visitor, hiya. Feel free to subscribe, share it around, give us a 5-star review. Tell somebody. If you like what you hear, please let us know. You can reach out to us at therevgatherings.com. Feel free to email us at therevgatherings@gmail.com. Hope you enjoy the episode. See you on the other side. We are live now. Welcome to the Rev Talks.
Yes.
Brook, Reeves.
Yes.
Bro, we did it.
It's an honor, dude. It's an honor, bro. Love it.
Okay,
Love
so
it.
here's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I want you to tell me about
Yeah.
impending doom.
Okay.
But mostly what I want to know is like, how did that actually start for you? And because I want to kind of bring people up to speed on even what you're doing with Man of God. And but it's mostly for me. I just want to hear like your story. Right. So like, Tell me about Doom, like what's going on for you guys. And then you start, because I feel like we got to be really like peers. We got to launch at such a similar time.
True.
You know, all that stuff. So I feel like it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I just want to hear kind of how it went for you. I think I saw it through the lens of you and T Boyd listening to like crazy
Corn,
songs.
Meshuggah. Yeah.
It's just like going. But I want to know.
Boyd and I was Corn and Meshuggah for sure.
Yeah, that's it. So
it's
all good. So tell me
So what do you want to know what Doom started, or you want to know what Doom is right now?
I want to know you and why did you decide to start Impending Doom?
Okay. Yeah. Why did I start Impending Doom? Well, so it started back to when, so I started off when I was younger. I grew up in like a very minority neighborhood, and I listened to rap nonstop. I was a freestyler. I was listening to like Biggie, Bone Thugs, Tupac in my sister's Honda for hours, 6 hours. I'd be in a Honda. She had speakers back in the day when it was, just rattling your trunk. Yeah, just insanity. And I loved bass, right? Like I just loved it. It was heavy. Like Machiavelli, right? Like so heavy. Bone Thugs, East 99, so heavy. So I loved like the heaviness, but I didn't obviously know of like deathcore or heavy stuff at the time. I was like 9 years old. So then I liked that. I was freestyling. I was getting into music. Obviously didn't have any record or anything, but I was getting into like writing. Yeah. Later on, I discovered Korn, and new metal started really coming about, right? Like 99, I was still young, but Korn was coming about, Limp Bizkit, all those kind of guys. So then so I got about 7th grade and you get, elementary school kids or from other elementaries are meeting up at your middle school now. Now I'm meeting new friends because all my other friends from my elementary were all rapper, like rap. So now I'm getting some like white kids infiltrating like my middle school. There's a couple of them, right? So I'm like, all right. And I befriend a couple of them. Then they show me Korn, Limp Bizkit. And I'm like, yes, because they got the rap element and they also got that heavy vibe that I like. So I'm like, this is dope. I love this. And so about that time when that stuff was coming out, my dad took me to Moto Speedway. It was sidecars, with the motorcycles and the sidecarts. And they're just like zooming around. Well, they must have been playing music, but I didn't hear it. And then all I hear is dun, 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 hey, I'm yours. And I hear that at a young age as well. And I'm just like freaking out. So I time stopped. My dad was talking to a friend. Nothing mattered at that moment. He goes in that blur phase of like, what the hell is this now? Yeah. Like I'm hearing like just so many new bands I've never heard of. So so this is like my attraction to heavy music is now just like growing exponentially. And so this is 7th, 8th. I think the Metallica one wasn't still in elementary. I think that might have been a little bit before the Korn, but it's all in like the same area. But then they get into 8th and 9th grade. No one listened to heavy music in my school. So I get into 9th grade. I'm still listening to Korn and all the new metal stuff, right? I got into like Il Nino and Dry Kill Logic. Nothing like really like heavy or, death metal or anything. Then this kid he's on my baseball team. I guess he can hear the headphones right before, I'm listening to freaking Blind, like right before I'm about to play baseball. Yeah, dude. I'm about to play baseball and I'm just like, I'm in my own zone, right? Because everybody's listening to like Taking Back Sunday and like all that stuff at the time. That was huge, right? Like the Hughes, like in 2002, 3, like that was huge.
Sure.
So that's what they were listening to. And I'm over here like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. And I'm just losing it by myself. And some guy comes up to me. He's a bass, and I never knew this. And I played baseball with him. He's like, "You like heavy music?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I love it." And he was like, after practice, he was like 2 grades older than me. His name's Alex Lopez. I'll never forget him. Or he's a grade ahead of me. And he goes, "Meet me in my car after practice." And I was like,
yes.
"Oh, hell yeah." And then, dude, he's like, "All right, here it goes. This album is called Gormageddon, and it's by a band called Aborted." And I was like, "Put it on." And he puts it on, dude. And it was death metal, and Gormageddon had 808s in it. So it's just like,
yes.
And I'm just like, and his vocals, right? I'm just like, what is this? My mind blew again, right? I'm just losing it. The whole trance happened again, the blurry vision. I'm sweating. I'm just like, "Alex, what the hell?" And that just blew my world wide open. And then it got into going to sound. Have you ever been to Sounds Like? You went to Sounds Like back in the day? You did, right? Yeah.
Right when I moved to California, we'd drive out to Riverside, and I would go to Sounds Like, and we'd go to like random stores and stuff. So and that was
I think Sounds Like.
So
Sounds Like was huge for all like the IE kids. So around then I go to Sounds Like, and they have the listening station, and then that's when my whole world just like grind.
Okay. So you can see the steps. Let me rewind you for a second. Why were you writing, right? Because hip hop, as opposed to making beats, there's only a couple roles, right? You're either making beats or a DJ, or you're the dude with the mic. Why did you gravitate to writing lyrics? What was that about for you?
Probably because maybe we've had this talk, but I'm like an outgoing introvert. Like stuff like meeting people terrifies me. Anxiety. Like I'm like every time I go on stage, I'm like about to puke every time. I have to have like David's like, "Dude, it's all right. Like you'll be all fine." But I feel like I'm gonna die every time. There's never been a time when I was like, "Yeah, dude, let's freaking go on stage." I would never eat before a show. I've never eat maybe I can't remember. Maybe once. I never eaten the day of the show.
Wow.
Like maybe like before, if like we're a headliner or we're like,
sure.
If we're like 8 hours away, then I'll probably have like something like a salad. But like besides that, so I have that like, oh God, like this anxiety in me. And so I guess writing was a sense of like expressing myself.
Who was your favorite lyricist that you wanted to be like when you were into just lyricism and hip-hop?
It was Bone Thugs and Harmony. And
why?
And like it was Ice Cube. It was just a piss off. Like my favorites were Bone Thugs not because of the rapping, because that was just so fast. But like Bone Thugs just had those very like the East 99 album is still like top-notch album for like the beats are so eerie and so heavy that like it is like that's where later on in life I get like the eerie like heavy metal stuff. No,
that's
so Bone Thugs with it cut the beats. I'm listening to that, but like Tupac and Ice Cube were huge because they just had those booming voices that like just like straight up like pissed off, like it's just pissed off, and it was just like it was outgoing, and I just connected with that so much. So, and
Did
I
you
wanted
ever
to
wanna
express
learn-
myself like they did. Like I wanted to
Yeah.
express myself.
So you're like, I'm going to put how I'm feeling out there. I'm going to try to, what would you write about?
Yeah, bad.
Well, I know it's all bad.
It was all bad. No, it was like gang life. I was 6th grade.
Dude, so hard. You just run
So hard. I was literally wearing baggy pants, like my mom's shoes.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, and I was just going, and I wrote one of my raps and I put it in one of my jean pockets. Horrible mistake. Left him in there. Obviously, I'm a dumb little kid. Mom finds out, sees F word, B, 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 F, F, F. Oh yeah, yeah, bro.
Awesome.
Get in the. My dad, get in the room.
Yeah.
The belt, dude, and he whooped me.
Okay, so you did you try to learn an instrument when you felt? I'm gonna do this. So I have a similar. It's a different era, similar deal.
Right.
Can't listen to rap because I stayed with my mom and my stepdad for school. The summers I'd go stay with my dad in St. Louis.
They wouldn't allow you to listen?
No, they didn't want me to listen.
Were they Christian?
Yeah. So I would take the red Disney cassettes and record gangster rap on them so I could.
Yeah.
And it was like Slick Rick and Run DMC and Easy,
the generation before
NWA
me.
and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
But I loved the lyricism. Then in like 5th grade for me, it was a Crass record, Dead Kennedys, and Nirvana.
Okay.
Because I just moved to Washington State. When I heard
Did you?
When I moved to Puyallup, and that was where I was like 5th grade. We left the Bay Area and I went to the Northwest. I moved to Salt Lake from Washington State. So that's where I fell in love with music, and it was like the epicenter of everything.
Yeah, for sure.
When I heard people play,
what year was that? What year were you in
1990.
Oh,
so I was up
wow.
there.
So that's like
1991. So
dude.
I'm there, and I'm like, I want to play drums. Yeah. So I wanted to play an instrument.
Right.
Did you ever try to play an instrument when you fell in love with or you just wanted the vocal?
I just wanted the vocal, but I would mess around with like an acoustic, whatever. But I really just wanted to be just like, vocal. Yeah.
Okay.
Vocal.
So you sounds like your mind's going. You're like, this is my spot. Like I'm finding my lane.
No, I was that sounds
how
like
long after
weekend.
that? When did you start practice?
So I started going to sounds like, and now my mind is just like. Like now I've got gore grind. I've got death metal. I am not really thrash, but it was just like power violence. It was just grind. It was slam. It was they have all the how they have the dividers with all the genres.
Totally.
And so I'm just like in heaven, and you can listen to them or whatever, and I'm just like going crazy listening to this. So then I start going to then Showcase appears to me.
Yep.
And then that's when that door starts opening. So then I start going to like cattle decap shows and I go to a boarded show, boarded played there. I started going to more and more metal and, grind shows. And then I was like, I think I can do this.
Give me your first show experience in that genre where you were like, whoa.
When I saw cattle decap, so I don't know what band it was. It was just like, I don't know. It was one of like a local death metal band. And I was like, I'm going to go to a show. I don't really remember it, but I was like, I can do that. And I like that. I love the aggression of it. And I was like, I can do that. And then I went to a cattle decap show and I said, nope, I can't do that. Because have you heard that guy?
He's crazy.
He's insane.
They're so good. He's so good.
He's I mean, when it comes to death metal vocals, I mean, the way he can bend his voice is unreal. So I was like, yeah, can't do that. But I was just like, it kind of like deterred me a little bit. But like, I was like, no, screw this. I was just like, kept listening to music, and I was like, yeah, I can do this. So started going to shows, simultaneously going to shows and partying.
Yeah.
So not Christian yet.
Mm-mm.
So I didn't become like a Christian until like junior, senior year. And even then it was just like a baby Christian. But like I would typical like high school Christian dude, right? Like go partying all weekend long, feel bad about it, go to church, repent. Monday, I'm like, dude, yeah, I can't be doing that anymore. Tuesday comes around, buddies call me up. Hey, bro, we got a 32 pack. Let's roll. I was like, let's go. Next Sunday at church again.
Oh God,
Lord forgive me.
I didn't get saved till my early 20s, so I would have loved you. I would have loved
right.
it.
So like,
no, you don't gotta go there. Come hang out. Like,
you're right. Yeah. So I went a couple times when I was a kid. It wasn't like my parents. I mean, I've never not believed in God. So I just felt like that would be a place to be like, I hate having like regret or a dirty conscience, right? I hate that feeling. So I was just like, man, and then music's coming in my life, and I'm like, I'm just wasting my time. Like, obviously these are friends and I love them and everything, but I'm literally just wasting my time, like drinking and partying. Like there's more, you got that feeling that if you're meant for something more, and I had that feeling, and I was just like, what am I doing? Like even now, right? Like if I don't do anything, I'm so busy with work and kids and all that. But if I have like time to sit, I never watch TV. I never do anything. So at that time I was just like, man, all I do is drink and party with my friends all the time. Mm-hmm. And so I was just like, and then I had that thought of like, but none of them, so I'm like living the world of partying with them. None of them went to shows. And then I got this other world of like death metal that I love. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to go create my death metal band if I'm just like partying all the time with people that don't even listen to death metal or anything like that. So I need to like, there needs to be a transition here. So church was my transition into, okay, I'm at church today. Or, you know, and then it became, as I started going to church a little bit more on my own, I started like stepping away from the partying a little bit. Cause then word got around. I think I told some friends after a while, me talking about death metal, I got buddies that are like, hey, you need to hit up my friend Manny. Yeah, dude. And I was just like, man, this is like, so we were all skaters. So there was my friends of skaters and there was Manny's friends of skaters. So like we were two crews that like had mutual friends. And so I was a mutual friend with one of them. And he's like, hey, I heard you like heavy music and you want to start a band or something. Like, I think my friend Manny plays guitar. And wow. So Manny was a freshman or a sophomore and I was a junior or something. But I see him walking down the aisle one day. And I go, are you Manny? And he goes, yeah. And I go, you want to start a band? And he goes, yeah. And then I was like, let me have your number. So he wrote down his number, gave it to me. I hit him up like immediately. And we started the process of trying to find people. No one in my school listened to metal. Nobody. Like maybe like two people, but they were like not a band person or anything. Or people that I knew, right? My circle of friends, there might've been that kid that did listen to music, but like I didn't know him. So we went through just so many different friends that knew drummers, knew bass players, knew this and that. We would meet up with anybody we could. So like, we'd be like, you're a drummer? He'd be like, yeah. And I'm like, you like Dying Fetus? He's like, no, I like Blink-182. And I was like, you're all we got. Come jam with us. So like we went through a bunch of people like that until so Manny's over there like and this guy's like trying to do like a like a pop beat, right? And I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work, bro. And so we just keep going, and then we get into Corona kids. And Corona kids, like Santiago, oh my gosh, it's like, that's where showcase, like, those kids are all over the place with hardcore metal, dude. Like, that's where, like, yeah. So we're like, we us Riverside rats got involved with the Corona kids. And then that's when, like, the whole thing just blew up. That's when we found Andy and Isaac and Chris Forno and all the people that have been in our band have come from Corona. And so we got Andy, and then Andy's just like, and just like insane. And was Isaac the first drummer?
Isaac was first drummer. Isaac was on the demo.
Okay.
I remember.
Okay, Isaac was, okay, so Isaac and then Andy.
Isaac,
It was Chris Forno. Chris.
So the 4 or 5 you guys would show up to Redlands.
Yeah.
Anyway, so okay, cool. So you put it together.
So we finally meet up with Corona and we put it together.
What was your what was your inclination about how you were going to be as a vocalist? What did that look like? Young Brook.
Yeah, young Brook.
Young small baseball Brook.
Yeah, young small baseball Brook.
I'm going to be such a sick vocalist.
Yeah. So I had, yeah, pretty much. Dude, horrible sounding, bro. Horrible. It was so bad because I didn't know what sound I wanted to go for. And I just didn't I just didn't start by just like, okay, I want those sick vocals and just hit it, right? No, not at all. But so what I did was, as 2003, 4 comes along, then it's kind of like I'm broadening out to now acacia strains coming in the picture.
Yeah. Yep.
Now I'm like, oh crap, like this is still super heavy, but there's not like slamming guttural dying fetus devourment. This is like scene kid. This is like a new genre. This is like deathcore.
And are you talking the 3750 record?
3750. So they have one before that, but like 3750 was the one.
Yeah, that was the banger.
That set them off.
Bomb, just the best song.
Yeah, I mean, dude, 2005 we played with them. And we were opening for their tour with Soylent Green, which was like such an op show, like tour, like he's strained at Soylent Green. That's like the weirdest thing.
Didn't we end up playing? I don't know if you played that. Plague played with them, and maybe from a Second Story Window, or do you remember that showcase? It was like, and it was Suicide Silence.
Oh no!
When they had their old drummer, the String.
Yeah.
Showcase, it was insane. It was
that's insane. No.
Small
we've never played with
small children. That was
right.
Okay.
That's an insane show. No, we never played with Suicide, so like that definitely wasn't. I might have been there, but as far as vocals went, so that was coming around. So I was like, oh, maybe I don't have to try to do this guttural slam stuff. Now I can kind of like hardcore it up a little bit. So our first stuff is like me going like it's just what I call like floppy mouth vocal, like
yeah.
Like just horrible, right? Like it's so bad. Awesome. I have like a demo of somewhere and it's so bad. And
I'm gonna need to hear that.
Yeah, you got it.
We're gonna have to hear that up. Actually, there's gonna be a link in the show notes. Hey guys, there's a link in the show notes.
Yeah, right.
For the Mushmouth Impending Doom.
So much mush. That's what it is. It's sloppy mush mouth, dude. And like couldn't understand anything. We recorded it, 3 songs. Terrible. And then I was like, I heard the recordings and I was like, I sound like this. Like during like practice, right? We had just the drummer, we had some crappy gear, and I had like a little speaker. So like, I think that I'm just like just laying it out because I can barely hear myself. It's like the speaker's blown. So I sound like I'm like thrashing, right? Like it's got that like stupid distortion because it's blown and everything. So I think I sound great, which I sounded terrible. And so I was like, oh my, so we started recording. I was like, oh my gosh, I sound like this. It's so bad. And I was like, and I was still asking friends, I was like, do you think people will mosh to this? And he was like, yeah, people will mosh to it. And I was just like, I wasn't feeling the confidence in his voice. And I was like, this is not coming out, or this is not doing anything, right? So then I was like, Manny, back to the drawing board. And then now, yeah. So that was the Impending.
You're like, Manny, let's fire the drummer.
No, yeah. So now, yeah. So that band was called On Sacred Ground.
Oh, okay.
And then we were like, yeah, let's make the pivot to like just grind and just slam, right? And then that's when I was developing the style of vocal on the EP.
So hard.
Yeah.
So hard.
Oh yeah, just the hardest. Yeah. I was just like, it's crazy to like nowadays because I still listen to. I love still heavy slam stuff and all that, right? But I listen to a lot of country now and all that stuff. Anyways, but I go back and I listen to like that.
All right, let me ask you this question, country boy, Mr. Texas Stud.
Shit, yeah.
Are you on Coulter Wall?
Come
Are you in love with Culture Wall? Because I am, and
I mean, I love him. The only thing that just upsets me, and you know what it is,
that he's from Canada and he's like 12.
Yes. Why can't he be from? Why can't? Wait, it's the best voice and all that, but Canada. You know what I mean?
There's real, dude.
I know there is real. There is real
cowboy stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't John Denver from Canada?
John Denver, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
He can be from wherever he wants. That is a sweet and beautiful man.
Yeah. Agreed.
Let me say this then. Let me circle around to this part. There's two things that you said that I wanted to ask you about. And we can take them in whatever order. But
okay.
Tell me a little bit about you said you were going to church by yourself.
Right.
Maybe I'll do it early. How about that? Usually I wait and ask this question a little later, but maybe talk a little bit about like, who was Jesus to you then?
Right.
And who is Jesus now? Like, it sounds like he was kind of a way out at that point.
Right.
But I don't want to read into it. So why were you going to church? Who was this guy that you were doing that? Why were you doing that by yourself?
It just felt right. Like, it just felt like, I like I said, I hate living with like guilt and shame and all that. Like, and I just felt it. Like, I feel like if I'm not like, if I'm not fulfilling my purpose, I feel guilty.
Wow.
I don't know, shame, but I feel guilty. I feel convicted. I'm not like, it's not something that I like think about. It just happens. Like, if I sit down and watch TV, which I can with my kids and stuff every once in a while, like, you know, it just happens. But like, if I actually have like free time, like, I feel so convicted watching. Now it's TV, but back then it was partying. And even though I was having fun with my friends, I still, at the end of the night, when I get home, I'm like, damn, that didn't bring me one step closer to like anything I want to do in life. So Jesus was. You could feel like a pull towards maybe a better version of life. Right. And you felt like that was coming from the God place in your conscience. Correct. So you're like, my conscience doesn't feel clear. I can't live like that. Right. Wow. So, but like, I've been to church a couple times when I was younger, and I was just like, I didn't hate it. I believed it because I was like, I never gave into like the like Big Bang or anything like that. I never, like, God has always been real to me. I don't know, like from a young age, like, I don't know if my parents, like you're a Christian, you know, I'm like 5, like, okay. Like, all right. Like, I accepted it. And I was like, this is it. This is God. And then I never really went to church. And then I just like music, just like Man of God, just like Impending Doom. I just felt purpose in it. And I felt like it was a stepping stone to like find like who I truly am. Like, I want to find my identity in this thing that's way above me. Like, I don't know the whole thing about it yet, but like, it's above me and it's higher, you know? Like, I've always like, I grew up in a really bad part of the town, dude. And I was just like, the heart of man is just terrible. Wow. It's terrible, bro. Even like, you know, the best people ever, and we all know. That's why I like when people ask me like, oh, this guy's not a Christian anymore. Well, what do you think of this band, dude? It's not a Christian anymore. It's like, don't care. Don't care. That's his deal. Like, my purpose is still in Jesus. Like, that's my purpose. Like, it's there. Like, it's a higher than me. I have no, like, I'm not here for cool points. I don't care about like selling. I don't want to say the F word on a record. I don't care, dude. It's not like I'm trying to get cool. I'm not trying to get in with the cool kids. I don't care. So my thing is, it's like, I want to be like this 70-year-old, 80-year-old, like, dude that like stuck it out with Jesus till that age, right? Like, I want to be like, yeah, I've been faithful for freaking 72 years, bro. What are you doing? You know, you can't stay faithful for freaking 2 weeks. So I started going to church to really find myself and to really be like, this is right. And so like, I'm hearing the love of Jesus. I'm hearing it's pouring over me. Hearing the good word. You know, I went to Harvest. It's a big, huge church. I mean, they're a big evangelical church, right? So they get into it, but they don't go like deep into it. They're just wanting to bring people to Jesus. So that was perfect for me at the time. So I was just like, yes, I believe this. And I just felt like it was just practical to me. It was timeless. Like the Jesus teaching from 2,000 years ago were still like Greg Laurie, the pastor there, would put it in such a good way, practical way that I'm like, it makes sense. You know, like the bad stuff that's happening, even in today, right? Like God called it. Like it's all like all this stuff has been called out, and it's something that you like nobody can deny it. Like you can deny, you know, I'm a Christian, but you can't deny that like the Bible is on so many points, like on it, right? Like I just agree with it so much more than I agree with, like, you know, like I don't even think like science and religion are like exclusive things. I think they're like very tied in.
Sure.
Like I think God could use some little evolutionary things here and there to like obviously God could do anything he wants. I can believe there's aliens. There's like my mind goes everywhere, bro. And like people will be like, oh, if I believe in aliens or if I believe in this and this, I'm a bad Christian. It's like, dude, I doubt, I question, I do all that stuff, dude. I'm like me and my buddy were talking about the Nephilim, where the angels had sex with people, and that's why God like destroyed the earth because they were just doing horrible things. Like, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, I just do the maybe thing. Like, people will like non-Christians, like, oh, I was a Christian when I was younger, and now I'm not anymore. But like, have you heard about this book, the book of and it says that God like brought drugs to the earth and like blah, blah, blah. And like, there's all this stuff, right? And I'm like, I doubt it, but maybe. Like, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that, like stuff in the middle, right? So like, I'm completely open to when people think that you got to be like, and that's why I hate like how you like the Sunday school mindset, right? You talk about like, just you get in this little like, you got to stay in your lane. Don't ever get out of it. Like Christians cannot think out of the box. Do not become a death metal band. Do not start playing the Red Letters. Do not start Sleeping Giant. Do not start Death Star X. Do not start a church with a bunch of hardcore kids. Don't do that. Don't bring hardcore kids to these kind of like conservative churches or whatever. Don't do that. Don't wear tattoos. Blah, blah, blah. Don't have piercing. You know what I mean? Like Elvis, don't go to church. You know, like you're not a worship leader. Like all this stuff, and then all the churches, like churches, 50 years behind everybody, right? And it's just like, who wants to go?
Well, tell me this. So
that was long.
No, I love it. Like, no, I want people to hear you. And that's what I'm like, okay, so in your faith journey, what you can feel is like, okay, I have this sense that I was made for something because when I live for kind of nothing, it doesn't feel right. The math isn't working. So something is happening in my conscience. And I think that's so cool because a lot of people don't realize, I don't know if they're realizing it, that feeling shame, like I'm bad, is different than feeling guilt, which is like, maybe I'm not doing
Hold on 1 second. I got a kid knocking.
Yeah, hey, stop.
Okay.
Whatever you need, let me know too, because I'll pause it. I'm not scared.
No, you're good.
So there's a difference, and I feel like most people, they get it twisted, which is like, if guilt is like, I feel bad for that decision. Shame is, I'm bad. Something's wrong with me.
Right.
So the idea though is, what I wanted to point out was, I love the fact that you said you could feel in your conscience something wasn't on, something wasn't working. And the Bible really says like the Lord really speaks to us in our conscience. So there's people probably that are listening that don't realize God is actually talking to them.
And that's what people say when people say talking to, like God's talking to me, that's what people mean. So like non-Christians, when they hear like, oh, God spoke to you, it's like, we're not meaning like an audible voice. It means like your conscience. Like I feel led to go that route.
Yeah.
Like, I felt led to go that way. I feel led like, damn, I should not be listening to that. I feel like in my conscience, I shouldn't be indulging in this. Like in my conscience, I feel it. Like I shouldn't be doing that. No. So that's what we mean as Christians when we say like God's talking.
So then you feel the love of God in a place and you're like, wow, this is good.
Yeah.
You feel purpose. You also feel like clear, which is such a, dude, you can't put like a price tag sometimes on just like peace. It's just better than all the drama. Oh my God. So tell me this then. So you're feeling the truth of who Jesus is. And as you're reading and learning his story, you're like, this dude is timeless. Like what he's saying makes sense. People can suck horribly.
Right.
That's still true.
Right.
love is still
because you never know, right?
Yeah.
The thing is like you never know. Like someone could be like speaking truth, like Tommy Green, like even though I back you so hard, you could just one day be like turn into the worst dude ever.
Yeah.
Totally. You know what I mean? Totally, 100%. Like all these people that we put like celebrities, right, or whoever, we idolize them, and then all of a sudden you hear like, oh, they're a pedophile that did blah 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 blah, and they have a laundry list of it, and then it's just like you're crushed.
Yeah.
You're crushed.
Yeah.
Like people that like look up. Like I'd hope nobody looks up to me, but like I try to live a good life. But you know what I mean? Like I could fall, you could fall, like someone. So like it's just, so that's why I always like I put all my stock there in Jesus.
So I think about this a little bit, and maybe this will just be funny, just because.
Okay.
So Jesus, for you at that point, was like, he introduced you to your quest was, I really want to know who I am, and I really want to know what I'm here for, what I'm made for. And when I get close to this guy, I'm coming alive in some ways.
Right.
I feel clear in my heart.
Right.
Okay, I'm going this way. This seems to make sense to me.
Right.
So talk about coming to Tithemi and Redlands.
Okay.
How did we end up crossing?
Yeah, that is a great point. Dude, I was thinking about this. Like,
I feel like I don't know if I've heard it really. I think
I do, but the problem is like, where did we meet?
I just remember you. I remember T-Bird telling me, "Yo,
it was probably through Manny
and Travis." I think
Manny and Travis were
friends.
friends.
Just be intrigued to know what's one of your earliest memories of coming to Tithemi, and then what's one of your earliest memories of Sleeping Giant? Because I feel like we really got our feet on the ground at the same time. So I want to keep it with the spiritual side of stuff, because I remember you guys coming to the church, and I'd look up and you guys would be in the back, and I'm like, hey.
No. So it was probably through Face Down bands. Probably through Death Star. Like I started getting into a little bit of that stuff. I never really listened to a lot, but like because I think Death Star did a tour with Sinai Beach and Oblige.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't in.
And August Burns Red. I think August Burns Red was like opener or something like that. Yeah, insane. But yeah, so I think that I really like Sinai Beach is still today, like bar none, and then like Falling Cycle was just amazing. Yeah, for sure. So I think going and getting into like Sinai Beach, I think Oblige was friends with them, and Oblige dudes went to my high school, and they knew those guys. I started going to shows with them. I think just through them, I think Manny started getting in touch with Redlands kids somehow through probably Corona kids, and somehow I intermingled with you guys. But I remember seeing Sleeping Giant, I think for the first time at a show with Every Man for Himself.
Where was that?
It's at a church. It was lights all on. It was carpet floor. It was like in youth group center. Yes. It was a stage that was the size of my desk here, which is not very big. And I just remember, I think that they told Every Man for Himself to like not cuss or anything. And I think they just like, obviously Justin was at that point. It was wild. But I remember, my favorite, I probably met you before this, because now that I'm thinking about it, I knew the song on your first EP, the one that is Pray. What am I thinking of? The line. It's a heavy breakdown. It's like pray. There's a prayer thing in it. Someone knows that's going to listen to this knows what I'm talking about.
I love all of the things that you're saying right now.
It's like right before the Power of Prayer. Power of Prayer.
So good. Song. Such a good song. And it had
You never played it. You played it like one time. You never played it.
I really played it a few times, man.
That breakdown in that song is unreal. And I remember I called it out, and I think you played it that day. I was in the mosh, and I called it out. But so like I got friends with, I think, Boyd, and then we started getting like all Boyd's friends. Then I started Eric. I started meeting all you guys, going to like, then we started, I go to Tithemi, and then I was like, okay, we'll start, I think it was truly through Manny, though. I think it was through Manny.
What were your first memories of Tithemi? Because I feel like it was so long ago.
It was so long ago, bro. Like, this is what?
Nate Zabalba, like, posted a picture of them at, like, it's him and at some show. And I recognized the air conditioning unit from the ceiling.
The white walls. I could see it.
And it had the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, Star Wars.
And I'm like, man, I recognized the room, and I'm like, is that a Tithemi? And I hearted it, and he's like, Tithemi shows, and I was like, wow, so long ago.
So my first one with Tithemi was Plague the Red Letters played there.
Yeah.
And you preached. You got off the drums and you started preaching.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh.
You did that a lot, I think, on Plague the Red Letters. I think you did that. I think I saw Plague like 2-3 times, and I think you did that every time. But that's the first thing I remember about Tithemi. And then that's when I was like, oh, shoot, I need to go to this place. And then I started, and I don't, so this is like pre everything, though. This was like pre what we just talked about. We didn't know each other. This is pre everything. So, and then, so that was my first time at Tithemi. And then fast forward, you guys played, we got introduced from Manny and Travis Boyd and all that. And then I got into you guys. And then my big thing is we started going to Tithemi, and then we started playing Tithemi shows, the underground Tithemi, at the new place.
Yeah, at Oasis.
At the Oasis. Yeah, we started playing that, and then that's where Gregson came along and really stood up for us with Jason, because he showed Jason our freaking EP, and Jason's like, I'm not doing this. Are you crazy?
He's like, oh, you are missing out. These dudes are.
So he was just, Gregson was just like, no, you need to go to a show. They're going to play Tithemi. So I think it
was the Halloween show where you guys crushed.
Rows
deep of kids just headbanging.
Yeah. We crushed it.
And I said, aren't you glad they're on our side?
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, no. So he came to the Halloween show, and then he immediately called us and signed us right after that.
Yes.
But Gregson fought for us.
Shout out.
Shout out Gregson. Love Gregson.
Down, dude. The best. That's so cool. Okay, so that's
when, like, really after that is when we started really connecting. That's when Sleeping Giant and Impending Doom. After we started, then you guys got signed to Face Down right after us.
Yeah, it was at a Suicide Silence show in Rialto. We played with Suicide Silence on some off date, and I remember we signed contracts by the light of, like, Corey Johnson's trunk or something. It was
So when we signed, they had a huge warehouse. Like, they were doing all their own merch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like, they had a huge facility, dude.
Was that in Fallbrook? Where was that?
Yeah, it's in Fallbrook. I think.
That's crazy.
He's in Fallbrook now, I think, but, like, that might have been, but I mean, I think Fallbrook's expensive, and this was like a huge.
Yeah.
Like, this was like a place where they put all the Face Down band's merch. So it was just racks and racks. It was huge. And we went into an office. We're like, oh, wow, this is awesome. Yeah, dude, we were young.
Grown-up stuff.
This is grown-up stuff.
Yeah.
So then that's when we started playing shows together, when we both got those. And I never thought of, our first show was at a skate park with like 50 kids, and it was awesome and fun. It was on Halloween. And that's all I wanted to do. That's all I cared about. Is like, I literally, like, the business side of it, or like anything that's like on a tour or anything, never crossed my mind, because I was like, even to this day, right? Like even when we started touring, actually, I was like, I'm not gonna do this very long. To David. David's like, David wanted to tour forever. And I was just like, there's no future. Like, I didn't think there was a future for, like, death metal.
Can you tell me give me one of the most impactful moments in the kind of professional touring side before you guys sort of stopped? The window of, like, 2006 to, like, 2012.
Yeah.
What's one of the more impactful maybe tour or stories that you've not shared before that you just would love, like, fans of your band to know, like, this is what was going on with me in the midst of this stuff? Because I think, there's lineup changes, different records, evolving sound, pretty consistent, but like, there's changes. There's also, what's something that when you think back on that kind of window in Doom, you're like, yeah, that's what was going on, or this actually had a big impact on me. Let some people into kind of that season of the band.
Okay, so I mean, with me, with each record, I've always wanted to. I hate staying stagnant and static, right? I always want to like evolve. That's why I like my vocals from the EP, and I started introducing stuff into Nailed Dead Risen, and then after Nailed Dead Risen, it was strictly just like more pronounced, and then the horrible record of There Will Be Violence came out, and we will not mention, and then we go into.
Really quick though, what's up with that? Why are you saying that?
I hate that record.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because of me. Like musically, just me. I sounded like
you don't like it.
Yeah, the music's cool. I wish I didn't like. I wish it was an instrumental.
All right, I love you. Okay, so keeping it moving. Sure.
So keeping it moving. So I go to say like, so now we're touring, and now like we're hearing other bands and all this stuff, and we generally stuck to a sound, just like we want to stay dark and heavy. Like that's from the very beginning. Like the darker, the heavier, the better, right? But my big thing of tour, what I really wanted to do, the best I could, is what I wanted to do was is work from the inside out. Like I wanted to be friends with the bands and let them know, like, hey, we're not all douches. You know what I mean? Like probably a lot of people, band dudes, everybody, grew up Catholic or Christian, or a lot of them were like that, and they just got a bad vibe and they just never looked back, right? So I'm just like, my thing is like, I really wanted the bands, and I'm glad, like when we came out, like pretty much everything we do has been like respectable.
Sure. Absolutely.
Like respectable. I mean, we came out hard, right? Like we didn't come out like silly little riffs. We didn't come out with, you wouldn't be like, oh, this is a corny Christian band.
No.
Right. Yeah. So we like, that was the goal too. And so like we would tour with like Dying Fetus. We would tour with Job. We would tour with Devil Driver and all these bands. We toured with them, and they great. Like no one ever like belittled us. No one ever like treated us like crap or anything. Like Unearthed dudes were sweet. Like everybody we've ever toured with has been like very sweet to us. And I wanted to like, hey, like we're cool. Like we could be cool, right? We could be friends. Like, and like I can understand your perspective. You can understand mine. And like, you're going to see me probably, there's been probably a couple of times where I've been an idiot, but most of the time I would say like, hey man, I'm just like drinking coffee. I remember reading my Bible on stage on the stage when Acacia Strain was playing, dude. And like, just kind of like having fun with them. And we were just at that point, and like DL, like I got a chair on side stage, and I'm just reading the Bible next to DL, and DL just like straddles me, and just gets right in front of, and he's laying like some stupid heavy breakdown, and he's looking down at me, and he just goes, "No, like don't do this." And I developed. That was like my greatest time. It was just developing friendships with like dudes that like so many people. Well, throughout the years, like, what's it like touring with that band? How are those guys? Well, I'm sure they're dark and evil. And it's just like, no, they're absolutely like this. And as you know, they're just sweethearts, right? So like all these guys are like, there's very few that are like, there's some scumbags, but for the most part, you're just like, these dudes they're just dudes. They're all just dudes. So that was in recording, it was always dark, heavy, faith-based, like screw it. Like I said earlier, I want to be the 70-year-old guy that like, we put out however many albums, and I was like, each one of those has a story, and it's all like Jesus, like it's all Jesus centered, but it's just how I was interpreting it at the time, right? So like, I never want to write like, the non-Christian records or whatever like that, because at the end of my life, I want to be like, like I said, about regret. I don't want to live with regret. I don't want to live with any of that stuff. So like, none of the superficial stuff that you get nowadays, it's all gonna fade away, bro. Yeah. So it's all gonna fade. Like that's at the end of the day, it's all gonna fade. So my whole thing was relationship with dudes and bands, because I was already like, kids are already gonna be like, oh yeah, like let's hang out, let's meet, let's talk, and then it'd be easy, right? Because they kind of already know me. But these band dudes, I mean, maybe some of them checked out my band, but most of them like probably they're a Christian band. You know, that's all you hear, and then you're just like, oh God, we're on a Christian tour. Like, it was really awesome. Never knew like this guy, but 3 Inches of Blood. We went on tour with them. I just like respected them, man. Like good dudes. Canadians. We love the Canadians. We love the Canadians. Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, we love them. We love them. I was watching them. This is like 4 dates in, and they were playing right after us. And I was at the merch table because I wanted to go to the merch table, and I got to talk to a lot of kids and stuff like that. And this one kid's talking to me, and he goes, "That's crazy." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "I've seen 3 Inches of Blood like 4 times." And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, every time that they would get on stage, they had and they're the nicest guys. They would have a doll, a big giant doll of Jesus, and like would beat it.
Yeah.
And they're not doing it. And I was like, I've watched them every show since they haven't done it. They didn't do it the rest of the tour, and they never said anything. And they were cool with us. So it was just like it was cool to like develop that rapport with people, right? Like, okay, they're showing love. I'm gonna show love to them no matter what, and that's kind of how I like to do business. Now, now I can say like I can look back and be like, really, no regret. Like, still like. Every tour I've ever done, I don't think I've created an enemy. Not that I know of. You know what I mean? So that was my goal. Like, music is always secondary to me. It was always kind of like, even though I'm an introverted kind of guy, I still like to put out like, hey, we're boys. Like, I want to hear your life. So music is, it's like, yeah, like dark, heavy music. That was like the essence of it. Like, let's go there, just pissed off. That's what it was. But at the end of the day, like I said, 7 years old, I want to be like, man, who knows what happened in those guys' lives, but maybe a seed was planted, right? And I've had various conversations with so many musicians that they asked me about my faith, and to everybody that would listen to this would be like, he asked you? He was talking to you? He wanted you to pray for him?
Yeah.
He asked you, that guy asked you to pray for him?
Yeah,
Yeah, that guy did.
Yeah. Because
During hard times, man. During hard times. Everybody goes through them. Okay.
Well, let me do this because I was gonna ask one question. Here's let me ask you about kind of man of God. I'd love to hear where you are right now, and just sort of what's your passion and your direction.
Yeah.
What is going on with this new kind of development? Amazing, totally different.
Right.
Awesome.
Thanks.
You were thinking about it for years.
Thanks. Yeah.
Catch everybody up. What's going on?
So in 2013, I sent a demo that I recorded on my computer. Like I have it was like a hand-me-down laptop, and it had Logic on it, or a recording thing on it. It was just like some old, outdated software. And it was 2013, and I really I loved hip hop, so I'm bringing it back. Now I've done the metal thing. And now I'm at home. 2013 is when we had Jack, and that kind of stopped my touring. So I was like, well, I need to do something. I can't just sit here. Like I said, I need to do something to fulfill my purpose. And so I got this laptop, hand me down. I started recording. I mean, it's the stupidest stuff, but it was just like beats. It's just like not even like hi-hats or anything that's like gives it a rhythm or anything. It was just like and I'm just like so stupid, like it's just like a child just hitting stuff.
Talk about it. I'm just saying, there's some people that need to know that is how you start.
Right? Yeah, that's how you start. So that's why. But then I didn't have a mic or anything, so I would scream into the input mic that's on that's on the laptop, right? So I'm like, I just like losing it, like I'm screaming like at a distance from the laptop, so it's not like overly done, but like. So I sent that to Thaddeus, because I knew that Thaddeus liked trip hop.
Yes, dude.
Yes. And so I sent it to Thaddeus, dude. I only sent it to Thaddeus. I don't know why Thaddeus was like my thermometer on like, hey, is this any good or whatever? But I was just like, Thaddeus, what's your email address? Send it to Thaddeus. And he's like, dude, it's like trip hop. It's kind of cool. And I was like, yeah, and it's me screaming over some stupid beats I made. So then, but I didn't know anybody that made beats, because I was just in that death metal world. And then, flash forward, shoot, 2018, Casey Lagos, my boy, I see him posting like beats online, and I was like, we need to work together. So we spent a year developing the sound I wanted to go for with Man of God. And we just talked about it, what I wanted, just really dirty, heavy beats, eerie, the whole thing that I'm into.
Bone
Right?
Thugs and Harmony just
Bone Thugs, just make it, just hit it hard. And I wanted to do something solo. So like, and then the big idea I want to do is I want to be able to, I think we had a phone conversation about it, is like, I want to go to like a skate park. Like I want them to set up a stage or whatever and just like crush a skate park. And just like my solo, like I could just get up and go.
Totally.
And just be like, I can do some like ministry, like anywhere.
It's a vehicle for you individually to give what's on the inside without the band, without all the other stuff. You can just show up and go.
I can just bring my laptop and go and just crush.
Awesome.
And just do that and go anywhere. Right. So if anybody is like, has like, hey dude, this guy dropped out. I'm there. You know, I can go there. Obviously all this crap happens.
Talk about the world of kind of like the almost like, you know, Suicide Boys, kind of like the darker sort of like that scene. What stands out to you about that culture? Like, I know you've got a ton of respect for a whole lot about it. So within that, what stood out to you where you're like, I kind of want to be there too?
Well, yeah. So it's a very good transition for me, since being like, there's that notoriety, I guess. Is like, I'm not just some, you know, I'm not just trying to be some like,
you're not starting from zero.
I'm not starting from zero. Like there's some credibility behind me with like, I was actually in like the death metal band, the stuff that you like have your like death trot, you know, there's some stuff there that I've done. So there's some credibility behind it. So I was just like, what better way to reach out to these kids? And I just love the music, and I want to, again, with metal, like when I started writing for Impending Doom, I would listen to Behemoth, I would listen to Muir Gear, I would listen to all these bands, and I kind of get their perspective from the stuff I can hear. I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying. I want to offer the alternative. Well, I also, now with this genre, I want to here's the alternative to what they're saying. And I'm sure, just like in metal scene, I'm sure these guys are sweet and kind and all this stuff. But like, I really want for people to realize that, like, I'm not afraid to go into like dark places. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not afraid, I'm not the Christian that like, this isn't scene points for me. This isn't like, you know, anything like that. Like, this is me just trying to be genuinely like, wipe away all the imagery and scenery of like any style of music, and you just got like the dudes, right? Or you just got the audience and the people. And those people individually, strip away the chorus paint, strip away their musical preference, strip away all that stuff, and just see them as people. And you're kind of just like, I just want to connect with them. I should strip it away, right? Strip away all the goth paint, strip it, whatever. All the, you know, the t-shirts they wear, strip that all away, and just like, who are you?
Yeah.
And try to just reach out, just try to put out some music that maybe they see on a playlist. Maybe they run across it. Maybe it does something that like, would get their attention, right? Like maybe they just run across it on a YouTube or something like that. Like, I have a bunch of songs that are going to come out soon. So maybe it just crosses their path and they're just kind of like, this kind of dope.
Yeah.
And like, this guy's kind of like kind of legit. It's not like cheese. It's the cheesy factor that gets all them, right? Yeah, and it's crazy.
It's corny. You just like,
it's corny. But like, to me, it's just like, oh, but talking about killing and this and that, and it's like something that you'll never do. And like, that's not corny. I'm not gonna do any of that. But that's not corny. That's like badass. You know what I mean? Like that's bad. That's great.
You're lying, and I'm supposed to think that's cool.
Right. Yeah. But like, I just talk about like, hey, I'm not talking like Kumbaya Jesus. I'm just talking about like, hey, there's restoration. There's a lot of broken people, and there's restoration in Jesus. There's purpose in Jesus. Like, there's a purpose there. So that's like how I found.
So do this. So let me ask you this then, and then we bring it for a landing, because I so appreciate you. I love you a lot, and we have to do these more. But I'm saying down the road. But So Jesus at a certain point it was an introduction into purpose, and he was also a place where you began to find your identity. Who is Jesus to you now? And who do you want, how would you describe him to someone that's going to hear this that maybe doesn't have a relationship with him? Why do you want people to know Jesus? Who is he to you now?
Right. He is Jesus to me. I mean, it's pretty much what he's always been to me. He's to me, he's like a restorer of this is a good one, Tommy Green. There's so much going through my head. At the end of the day, he's my savior. You know what I mean? Because I want to do, Brook Reeves, I want to do bad things. I want to. But I know it's not right. It won't go to my purpose. So he's my anchor. That's what God is to me today. He's my center. He's everything that has to do with me being on any sort of right path. That's Jesus to me. He's that narrow road that just like, come on, bro. Don't even look that way. He's that to me. He's that light to me. So that's what it is to me, man. And that's what he's always been to me. That's what got me out of like doing a general kind of like a funk of just partying and stuff. He was just like, nah, man, come on, dude. Like pulling my soul to like go to church or something, like doing that, like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, like, I was just
like he just sort of beckoned.
Yeah. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, you're good. You're good. Like, I never in a million years, I never thought of like, I listen to nothing but metal. Like, church people won't accept me. I don't think about anybody like that. So many people are like, oh, I dress like a goth, or I listen to this type of music, or I do this. Like, I can't go to church like that. I never thought about it. I wore a freaking hat when I was stupid. That had a freaking squirrel, like it was a white trucker hat. It had a squirrel with like big giant nuts. And it was like so bad to wear. It's like, you would never wear that to church, dude. And I thought I was like edgy. I'm gonna be rebellious. I wore it to church, dude. So like I never. That's maybe bad that I didn't think about it, but I never thought of like, oh, they won't accept me. Like, don't think of it like that. Don't think of it as people accepting you. Why do you need to be accepted by them? Like, these are just broken people too, bro. Like, they've got their own judgment, prejudice. They got all kinds of crap with them. Yeah. So it's just like, dude, this is about you and Jesus. That's all it is about. Burn down every church. Every pastor can have an affair. Every church can burn. Every, big, Christian evangelist can just denounce God, and every scientist can say something. And guess what? Guess where I'll be?
Yeah.
Just like,
come on.
I'll be like, let's go. I'll be like, Tommy, let's go. Let's go do it. Let's go do our own thing. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll be limping along. I know, right?
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, it's just like, I don't care. I don't think about that. Like, I'm just like, I wouldn't do anything like I'm just not into like things that I know that are going to are temporal.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why I love music. That's why I love Jesus. It's the like, this is everlasting.
Well, like, something that lasts.
Yeah, I want something that lasts.
I like the phrase we said. He's like timeless. Like when there's wisdom in a thing, which beauty has a sense of wisdom that lasts.
Yep.
Creativity has a sense of beauty that lasts.
Right.
And the true light of God outlasts everything. And when you stumble into that, like array of that, you go, whoa, that's a little bit different than what I'm used to.
Right.
Wow, that's really cool, Brook.
Yeah. Yeah, man. No, it really is. It's a decision that like I can never see myself like I'm walking away from the faith. It's because it's like so many people think it's like hypocritical, or they feel so bad, and they feel so like they're not doing right, and they feel like, but I'm like attracted to this and whatever and that, and they're like, well, throw in the towel, bro. Like, I guess I'm not meant to be a Christian.
So have you have you ever like done something as a Christian or been taken into a weird spot in yourself as a believer and been like, is this make sense? Like, have you actually struggled, not like with your faith, but have you really been like, I think I'm sideways, I don't know what's real. Have you had a crisis of anything like that?
Are you saying like
grown as like a person? You know what I mean? Like,
right? Like, have I gone through stuff that made me not question? You're not asking if I questioned.
Not
but
really.
like things that would like tear me away. Like there's I really want to do this.
I guess I just want people to see it as human, because the dudes in the every member of our band, of both bands, people, Christian kids, we all go through stuff.
For sure. I mean, there's
I don't want to ever leave. It's like, well, yeah, but have you felt like you kind of want?
Oh God. Well, yeah. No, I felt like so many times. I'm like, bro, like if I dude, I remember on tour, like I would get caught up in like a party, and I'm like, like, and I'm like, man, this is fun or whatever, and I'm like, but it's not right, or like lust or stuff like that, where just like literally 99.99%.
When you end up in sin as a Christian, what did that do to you? Because it doesn't tell you I should leave.
Right.
What would it do to you? Just for people so
it would convict me to like no end, dude.
Oh, okay.
Very bad conviction, like hard, like very bad conviction. Like, dang, dude, like you know better kind of deal, right? Like, and I feel free to do anything. Like, I'll freaking.
I forgot you went and got your drink before we.
I got a glass of bourbon here. I'll go smoke a cigar. Like, I feel free to do like anything, bro. Like, I listen to freaking Behemoth. I feel free to do that. And then it gets to a point like where I'm like, oh crap, I've been listening to like 10 songs of Behemoth, and it's kind of like, I'm just like, and I'll turn it off. I'm like, nah, that's not good. But I do it more for like, what is their take? What is like, what are people attracted to with this, right? That's more how I look at music. So I find freedom in anything with Christ. Obviously, there is like sins where you just want to stay away, but like I ultimately feel total freedom. Like people will look at me, they'll like they'll smoke or drink. I'm like, dude, I'm a 33-year-old dude, and there's no condemnation in Christ, man. You know what I mean? Like I feel freedom. So many people feel like it constricts you, like you can't do this, and it's just like most of the things that like it would constrict you of is like that's what I'm talking about. Your anchor, because I would go and do horrible things. But then just because I want to do those things, does it benefit me in any way? If you really think about it, it's like, no. Yeah. So it's just like, what, as an atheist, what is it that like, what is it in Christ that you're like, I'm not believing because of that. Maybe it's science and you're going to go into that thing or whatever. And it's just like, that's a whole cluster, but it's just like, do you think that he just won't accept you because the music you listen to or what you like or your interests or like, you know what I mean? Like, like what, like, I feel like there's some people that are on that side, like, you know, oh, I don't like going to church, so I might as well not be a Christian. That kind of stuff, right? Like, I don't really like hanging around Jesus people or like pastors. I think they're like goofy. I think that they're all about money and they're greedy and all this stuff. And there's, you know, the Vatican is satanic and and the Catholics, there's this going on, there's the scandals all over. So like, why would I go to freaking church when all I hear is the bad stuff about? So like, there's that aspect that I think that a lot of people that they see or hear and they're like, why would I want to go to church? But it's just like, bro, like you don't have to accept everything that happens in the church. Like I don't. I mean, it's straight up. Like if I see something going wrong in the church and I'll call someone out on it, or if I can't call it out, I just won't support him anymore or whatever. It does not shake my faith at all, but it's still like, hey, you can call it out. Like you don't have to be like, oh, just because they're part of the church and whatever, that means they're like free from any sort of accountability. It's like, no, they need to be the most accountable. So it's just like, you don't have to feel like, oh, just because I disagree with something in the church, I can't be a Christian. Or just because I'm like this in a way, I can't be a Christian. It's just like, bro, like come as you, like you hear it, come as you are, like literally.
Yeah. And Jesus, your expression, your individual expression in Jesus is by definition unique and different from everyone else. And that is actually how he designed it. Like
right.
me and him to you and him. And it is us, but primarily it's about a connection like spirit to spirit. And I think, there's a lot of people that I think they can't see him. They haven't seen it, or they don't know if he's actually going to be, can I come to him?
Right. I would test it. I would test it. Like, it's something that like you're not going to, I mean, just go. Like go to a church or meet up with someone or like find a Christian, but like just try it, right? Like what's going to hurt? Watch, or here's what I tell people now that YouTube's around, is it's like, what is your struggle? Like, what is it that bothers you most about Christianity? Well, blah, 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 this, and this. YouTube that subject. Hold on one second. Stop, hold on. Okay, hold on. Edit that out.
I'm not gonna. I'm leaving it on. I'm leaving it in.
Stop.
Hey guys,
Brook Reeves, give me 5 minutes.
He's a dad. We've got 5 minutes. Jack is mad. Okay, so what I'm saying is you would tell people, find that.
So I would like literally like type in like evolution, type in like God and evolution, or type in like teach me, or like what's the difference between evolution and God, or like whatever your holdup is. And I'm sure there are like, you know how many people like, they'll give you their answer. Like, dude, there's a thing called YouTube. There's a thing called like so many different like apologetics and all this stuff. Like you can get all the information and choose two sides. Like science is not like, a lot of the scientists that I've read of, they're like, they have their ideas and their theories, but they never, like the real true scientists never rule out God. Yeah. They never rule them out. They're just like, it's open to it. We just don't believe it. We believe in the science or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I would just say like, spend the freaking 10 minutes, because there's just clips. Like you can find a lot of clips of just like, so a lot of people probably like, if they don't even do that because they're probably like, I don't want to listen to an hour-long sermon. It's like, no, dude, there are so many clips of apologetics dudes that are just like, boom, 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 point, and you can just take it from there, right? At least here.
You have a way to find it. You don't have to do some heavy-duty relationship.
Right.
Like, you really can just get the information and really start making decisions.
Literally, like, listen to a couple of those things. Like, go to, like Frank Turek or whatever. There's a couple of people like, oh, like, you're into, like, New Age stuff, right? Like, well, look into what is New Age, and, you know, how does that relate to God, you know, and that kind of stuff, and kind of get the idea of like, oh, what you're messing with, and just kind of like compare it to Christianity. Like, that's what I would tell people nowadays, man, because I don't have all the answers. I really don't. I could share this, but like you ask me some crazy question or whatever question, I'm like, blank. Like, I don't know. And that's okay. Because you're never, like, it's an infinite, you got to think it's an infinite God. Yeah. You're not going to know everything. Yeah. So it's okay. Like, it's not on me to be like, every answer, like, I am God. Like,
yeah.
I just got to lead them into their sort of a lane that would probably lead them there. And there's a lot more smarter people that are like, that have tons of information online. Yeah. And it's literally 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Some of these things I listen to, like, I wanted to know the difference between Jews and Christians. And it's pretty much all the same, except for they don't believe Jesus as the Messiah. Yeah. They think he's like, might be a prophet. And and literally took me the video was 3.5 minutes of telling me that. That was like the biggest difference.
You're like, what is that? Yeah. Especially with all the different, I mean, there's so much out. I like that a lot just because I know people. Yeah. I like that a lot. So
you're on YouTube, like, just literally do it real quick. It's not an hour-long sermon. I learned what the Jew and Christian in like literally 3.5 minutes. I was like, oh, now I know. And it's easy. Like, I want to know the Muslim, and
I've been really liking a lot is there's a series of animated videos called the Bible Project.
Yeah, dude. I follow them on freaking Twitter, dude. They're freaking awesome.
I really just get a kick out of the way that they explain it. So even if you have questions about the Bible and you want to know, there's so much information out there. But if you need somebody, don't be scared to reach out to someone, because I'm going to say it like this. Most of the Christians are probably more scared of hurting your heart, offending you, pushing you away from God than you realize. And so most of the Christians that you would probably reach out to if you're hearing this are terrified that they would make a mistake that would wreck your opinion of God. And so if you need someone, please don't be scared to reach out, because most of the Christian people that I know are just like, yo, if there's anything we can do to make your spiritual journey realer, we're so down. But we are so used to being the problem that we're like, we don't know. So I think it's really good, bro.
That's true, bro.
Okay, well,
we are.
Let me do this before Jack kills you. And
he's gonna bust through the door.
So if people want to find out, okay, first off, where can people find you, Man of God, Impending Doom? If they want to support you and what you're doing, where do they find you?
Yeah, so I'm at Twitter is Brook Doom, Instagram Brookie Doom.
Ooh.
Yeah.
With a Y.
With a Y. Brookie Y Doom. Brook Y Doom. And then Impending Doom is just at Impending Doom. But yeah, I'm mostly active on the Instagram and Facebook. So Facebook is just Brook Reeves, I think.
Sure.
Yeah. And I have a YouTube channel, Man of God.
Man of God is your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me do this then. So for those of the people the Rev crew, any of our Rev leaders, anybody in our community, or anyone that hears this that has their heart in your direction, what can we be praying for you, maybe for the next, like over the next year? Anyone that hears this, what can they be believing for you?
Sweet. I love that. Well, Impending Doom's going to put out a record. Then I'm going to put out, Man of God's going to put out an EP. And obviously, like, family, my family, I've got a boy and a girl and all that. It's just like, obviously, I would love to be just like a wonderful father to them, a manly father that can raise them up right, and really lead them towards Jesus and away from, as much as I can, away from, the temporal parts of this world. But like for me, it would be awesome with the record and with Man of God. Like I said, like Man of God, I want it to be like a ministry. So I would love to really get a blessing over that, to where I can go to skate parks, I can go to barns, I can go like anywhere that they could set up a stage and literally just like
do your thing,
do the most crushing freaking set ever, and then just like hang out with people. You know what I mean? Like,
so sick.
Really just be that dude that just like puts out the heaviest music and can just like relate to you and hang out with you and stuff like that. It's just to give me the kind of the heart to give me the opportunity, right? Like after this whole crisis or whatever is going on, give me the opportunity for sure. I pray for the opportunity to do it. And then once, the opportunity, the door opens, I walk through that door and I actually do it and I don't get scared. And then once it happens, I pray that like I have the heart and the mostly the heart, because I know the words will just whatever with me, but just mostly the heart to really connect with people for sure. Just to really stay focused. Give me the energy to do that. Give me energy in that ministry world and as my father.
Come on, man.
World. Yeah, man. Those are the most important things to me, and like obviously my job. Yeah, man. I just want like the energy. I want the power and the drive in music and in fatherhood.
Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna pray for you real quick.
Yes.
Strengthened with. Yeah, Colossians 1:11. That's what I'm gonna pray for you right now. Hold on one sec. Okay. So and then I'll let you go. But also, you're the bomb. Yeah, also, I found one.
Thank you so much for having me, dude.
Bro, come on.
I'm glad we got to make it happen.
Come on. I know we got to.
Dude.
We'll do more. Okay,
Sweet.
so here's my prayer is Colossians 1 says, for this reason, since the day I heard about you, I haven't stopped praying about you. I continually ask God to fill you with the knowledge of his will, all wisdom and understanding that the Spirit gives, so that you would live a life worthy of God and please him in every way, bear fruit in every good work, grow in the knowledge of God. And this is Colossians 1:11, that you would be strengthened with all power according to his might, so that you'd have great endurance and patience.
Yeah.
So,
Patience, endurance.
So God, I just pray for Brook right now. I pray for his life. Thank you for his journey. Thank you for his heart as a disciple and as one that just wants to make it to the finish line. Yeah. And he's invested in you and in his relationship with you for the long haul. Yeah. I pray just blessing and grace over him and his kids, God. I pray that you'd strengthen his heart with might by the Holy Spirit. I pray for grace for Impending Doom's new project. And I really do pray that you'd open up doors of favor for man of God, just because it's something that's it's unique, and it's also the individual type of thing that he can do even as like a full-time human dad with a business and all this stuff. So God, he doesn't want to like lose opportunity and still be able to minister. And so God, I really do pray for grace and favor for man of God. Yeah. And I just thank you for Brook's life. God, I pray for anyone that hears this podcast today, that if they don't know you, Jesus, that you would actually introduce yourself to them through someone, through a dream, through a vision, through a Christian, through a YouTube video, like however you can get someone's attention so that they can find identity. Like the way Brook was talking, like I wanted to know what I was here for. I wanted to know who I really was. Yeah. God, I pray that you would meet people that don't know who they are, and that they would find their identity in you, Jesus, and soon, God, that it wouldn't be a long thing for them, that you would come to them very soon. And so I just bless my friend. Thank you for his band. Thank you for all of our time and over the years. And I just bless him. Yes. Amen. All right.
Thank you.
I love you a lot.
I love you, dude.
So, okay. Hit up Brook E. Doom on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. And then if it's Brook E. Doom on Instagram, and in my bio, I have a link tree thing and it has every link there.
Love it.
Yeah. Thank you, Tommy. I love you, dude. You're the best, dude.
Okay, bye.
What?
Okay, bye.
You first. No.
Hey, you guys. Tommy Green here. Just want to say thank you again for listening to this episode of the Rev Talks podcast. Our hope with each and every episode is that it would encourage you, maybe give you a reason to have a laugh, expand your capacity on the inside to love and empathy, appreciation, hopefully make your world just a little bit bigger, and give you faith, hope for the future. If you like what you heard, again, please share, subscribe, give us a good rating, give us some good feedback. Over all of this, thank you so much for taking us with you in a small part of your day, on the drive, on the run, just as you're going about your day. Thank you so much for sharing some time of your life with us on this podcast. To connect with us, you can email us again at therevgatherings.com, and we will see you on the next episode. Love you guys. Bye.